This little trip down the Nile River in a private little boat is during the trip through Aswan, Egypt. And one of the fun things that we do is we've got a crew that navigates this boat and also brings all of us into dancing and musical instruments and just being able to connect into what the Nubian village has to bring. These are Nubians that come and pick us up off of our other big cruise line that we have. And then we go and play, and they take us down a little part of the Nile River to the Nubian village. When we get to the Nubian village, we'll actually connect with the crocodiles and work through some fears and embracing our internal powers and our gifts. We've got a clip of the crocodiles, and when we're actually working with them, you'll have to watch. We go back to our boats after we play with the crocodiles and work through those fears. And then we take a charter over to another section of the Nile where we actually get to jump off and swim in the Nile River. Now there's a lot to this, and in our retreats, we work through empowering, we work through activating your gifts, we work through releasing fears, we work with healing different parts of you. We allow these spaces to awaken who you are and get more insight to what is happening in your life and what are the things you're wanting to create and how do you empower yourself and these desires as you are creating forward. So when we get to the parts where we get to swim in the Nile, the tour guides are supposed to tell everyone that there's no crocodiles in the Nile River anymore somehow. Which is funny to me because we just got through playing on the beaches in the village with the houses that raise crocodiles right on the river and that still see them in the rivers. But when we connect with the crocodiles and the water, we go from a heat of the Egyptian air, which can range from anywhere from 90 to 115, depending on what time of year we go. And when we jump into the water, it's actually really cold and really refreshing. So it kind of is like this water therapy where you go from heat to cold and heat to cold, heat to cold. So you're activating a lot of your cells, you're awakening your body, you're helping your mind, inflammation lower down. But then you're also jumping in, and I have a destination. We've got these big giant rocks that you get to swim to. Now the currents get really strong in the Nile River. And so we have to teach everyone how to go up a little bit further and then allow the current as you swim to slowly take you over to the rocks. But you don't want to get too deep because then there's a little bit of an undercurrent also. So we allow each of the individuals who can swim really well to raise their hands, and the ones that struggle a little bit, we have life jackets if we need. But then as a group, they support each other making it to these rocks. And then when they get to the rocks, they get to jump off and play and do all kinds of fun stuff that you can do in the river and rocks. Many people get brought back to their childhood, their younger years where they just got to jump off of boats and play and swim and feel their muscles work brilliantly. And then we have other ones that will bring up phobias and fears that are still stored in their brain and their body. And so with each individual, we allow support for them to play when it's their time to play, which a lot of this group played, and so did every other group that we have. But then we always have some where it triggers in their body something we get to work through. And at one point, there was one where we got to work through the fear of the cold coming into the body. And the body feeling like it was dying in a panic of this cold just rushing over and shutting down the system. And so when I helped this individual work through these, we were able to teach her how to breathe in the internal flames of yourself, how to feel the warmth around you, how to feel the water supporting you instead of trying to take you or drown you. We walk through a lot of sacred work where we go through a clearing process, and sometimes this will bring up past lives that are causing this trigger, and we create it to move through the fear into a safety again. And it's really powerful work. We have another one that dropped into a past life where he had been grounded in the water, and the body was working through this moment, and it also brought into a current time well when he was younger of being swept down a canal, a tight ditch line, and that panic was coming through the body again. So we were able to work through cellularly, mentally, emotionally, and in real time bring it back to an integrated space of safety. Every individual that we've had that it triggered fear dynamic in their body, we were able to work through it brilliantly and safely and bring them back to a stable space and in an empowered state to where these fears don't overtake them again, but rather they know how to pull the power from different areas to help protect and help them move through things safely. It's amazing work when we get doing this stuff. We've had others where the fear of the creatures in the water was coming up, even after working with the crocodiles. And so we would be able to, in these spaces, connect with the water, connect with the crocodiles, connect with the land, and allow them to begin a ceremonial work where they create their own safety. And a big part of what we're doing in the Nile River when we're jumping in the Nile River is really understanding, how do we get to be the safe space? How do we get to pull in support, call in the prayers for support, the protection, the love, the warmth, the excitement, the happiness, the peace, the safety? When we move through our lives, it's important that we understand wherever we are gets to be safe. And when it needs to change, we will then be able to understand and feel where to move next and what to do next. So we're not just blindly reacting anymore. And so before we let everybody jump in, we've done a lot of work where we've taught them how to become that safe space, how to allow support and help in, how to even allow warmth from the water and your body touching to support the temperatures in your internal system and outer system. During the boat rides, we get to celebrate life, we get to move our bodies, we get to chant and sing and have an amazing time of laughter and excitement and a connection, which we all need in our lives. When we tour down the Nile River, there's many sites along both banks. We get to see even young kids that will come out in a little kayak to sell you stuff, and they'll like hook up right up onto the boat and you get to exchange stuff, and it's fun that way. But then we see some plant life, we get to see fish jumping, we get to see birds, wildlife, and it's just a nice, fun, casual day where we get to really embrace who we are, relax a little bit, have some excitement, have some fun, play with crocodiles, hold them, get empowered again, get answers of our sacred gifts. And when we go to the Nubian village, on top of holding the crocodiles, the women will give us each a henna tattoo, and they put on whatever is called to them intuitively to put on each of our bodies as a henna tattoo, as a little blessing from them. So it's a great day to learn the Nubian culture and get a little bit of a break from the rush of the Egyptian tours and everything else that we are working through and seeing, and the heat. We get to play in the water and just connect and enjoy. In our elite retreats, there's always a section during the international traveling where everybody feels this amazing celebration of who they are and their accomplishments, and almost get to experience something that is forbidden to experience. So swimming in the Nile River is a wow thing to do. Holding crocodiles is a wow thing to do. It's kind of like it's a forbidden thing. But at the same time, we get to embrace this culture that's embracing us, that's welcoming us into their world. And this little boat ride down the Nile River and into the Nubian village, and just getting this extra culture, then being able to jump in and swim and have all of this fun and peace. And then we'll actually go up on top of the boat as we're heading back, and some of us will enjoy the sun and some of us will actually go under the shade and enjoy the shade as well. But this is one of those moments on these retreats where people really get to be in a space of awe of themselves, not just of the culture, not just of Egypt or wherever we are at, but themselves. And the Nubian village has always been a place where I feel like when I go, just personally, I'm welcome into a whole other family that's that's always there to embrace and love me and all of my people and just share so many fun, wow things. And everybody gets to be celebrated. So as you watch this, I want you to just breathe in the excitement, breathe in the fun, see where you get to be celebrated in your life, and see where are you in awe of yourself and some of the forbidden things that ended up being really good things for you to say yes to and do. Where were those blessings that seemed impossible that ended up coming true in your life? And this is your invitation to celebrate you.